Hey there folks, welcome to the channel. I'm glad you could make it because in today's episode, we're going to take the kimchi that we made about 4 weeks ago and freeze dry a small amount of it. In the event that you missed that episode, I'll put a link to it right about here and then a suggestion at the end of this video, but the recipe is absolutely amazing. I tried to write the recipe in such a way that it just about guarantees success right out of the chute. So I'll put a link to that recipe in the description box below. And of course, if you happen to have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Kimchi is an incredibly healthy superfood loaded with gut-friendly probiotics. And so the idea of being able to freeze dry it and have it for long-term food storage or utilize it in different ways is incredibly appealing to me. And so today we're going to take some of that kimchi, freeze dry it, see what it's all about. Let's go. To make kimchi, we brine some cabbage, processed carrots, daikon radish, and a little green onion. Next, we're going to make a puree of ginger, garlic, and more onion. A spice mix is made with Korean chili flakes, soy sauce, fish sauce, shrimp paste, and then a porridge is added to it. Next, we combine all of those ingredients together, toss it into a fermenting vessel, and let it ferment for 2 to 3 days, depending on your room temperature. Then it goes into the fridge to mature for 3 to 4 weeks. It really just depends on the kind of flavor you're looking for, but this is our finished kimchi, and now we get to freeze dry it. So this particular batch is about 4 weeks old. Tastes great, has those classic kimchi flavors, you know, the bold, umami, funky flavors that are associated with kimchi. Absolutely amazing. Onto our freeze dryer tray. Now I'm going to be weighing this. This is going to be our start weight, 1,393 grams. This is going to let us know how much moisture we lose through the freeze drying process. What I'm going to do now is take this and stick it into our freezer. I want it frozen before we begin the process of drying. So into the freezer it goes. Let's go ahead and set up the Blue Alpine freeze dryer. We're going to hit recipes and just kind of take a quick scroll through some of these settings. I think we're going to go with delicate for this particular batch. So here's what the preset delicate option is. Freeze time 9 hours, which for us it doesn't matter because we're pre-freezing. The dry time is 24 hours. The dry temperature is 100, and the dry pressure is 997 mTOR. Now we could leave it like that if we want, or you can edit it. I'm going to edit it and change some of these settings. We're going to reduce the freeze time, bring that down to only a couple hours because ours is already going to be frozen. The dry time we're going to increase to 36 hours, and the dry temperature we could technically leave the same, but I am going to reduce that to about 85 Fahrenheit. And as far as the pressure goes, we are going to reduce that to about 500. Lowering the mTOR right here is going to slow the drying process down, which means the machine's going to take longer to get to its target temperature. Nice and gentle. All right, we're going to keep it at 510, and I think I'm okay with that. This is just a test batch. We're not going to be making very much this go around. If I like the way it turns out, we'll keep everything the same. If not, we'll make some adjustments. Not a big deal. Now we're ready to save and exit, and when we hit delicates, the new presets are right here in front of us, and I'm okay with all that. Now, if you want, you could go back to the edit button for these recipes and click the reset option, and that'll restore it back to factory default. So you don't have to worry about messing anything up too much. But we are okay with what we have. We're going to click continue right here to begin the freezing cycle. And all we're going to do is just let this get a little cold, you know, maybe 15, 20 minutes before we put our kimchi in here because our kimchi is already pre-frozen. Notice I am using the single tray system. Single tray system is kind of cool with the Blue Alpine, especially if you do small batches or experimental batches. But there's a couple things you need to know about the single tray system before getting it, and we'll cover that in an upcoming video. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell if you're not already subscribed. All right, the process is officially over. I let it run a little longer than 36 hours because that 36-hour mark finished around midnight, and I didn't want to mess with it in the middle of the night, so this is the next morning. So I guess total time in here was around 44 hours, give or take, and very pleased with the way it turned out. Nice and dry. Let's see how this piece feels right here. Oh, that looks great. It smells great. Very crispy texture. All right, now we need to get our finished weight. So this is going to be the dry weight. And after it's all said and done, it looks like our total dry weight is 234 grams. All right, now there's a couple different ways to figure out how to rehydrate your product. I'm going to show you one way. And in this particular case, we're going to take our starting weight and divide it by our finishing weight. Just like that, 1393 divided by 234. And that answer is 5.95. So to figure out how much water I need to add, I need to multiply the serving size by 5.95 and then subtract the serving size, and that'll let me know how much water I need. We're going to rehydrate a little bit of it right here. We got 6 grams of freeze-dried kimchi. So if we take our serving size, which is 6 grams, and multiply by 5.95, you get 35.7. When you subtract the serving size from that number, you're going to end up with 29.7 grams, or 2 tablespoons, which is how much water we need to add. Let me know in the comment section below if that makes any sense. We're going to let that rehydrate while we try this version right here as a crunchy snack, the freeze-dried version. Freeze-dried kimchi, check that out. Beautiful piece of cabbage all dried up. You've got some vegetables and spices there on the back. We're going to try this a couple different ways, starting with this dried version and then rehydrate it and see how that goes. Going down. Ooh. That's tangy. Oh, but that's good. I don't know if it's good enough to just eat as a crunchy snack, but that has got a lot of really concentrated kimchi flavor. Hang on a minute. It takes a second to adjust to the acidity, but wow, that's really tasty. The texture, it's got this really nice crispiness to it. It's almost like a very thin wafer. I wouldn't say it's crunchy like a cracker. Let me eat this piece of carrot and see if that's crunchy. Carrot's definitely got a bit more of a bite to it, but the cabbage, very interesting texture. It's like this smoky, salty, tangy, crispy wafer of a kimchi snack. I mean, that's exactly what it tastes like. All that kimchi flavor is there. It's actually more concentrated. This may be too intense to just eat by itself. I mean, unless you are a kimchi fanatic. Perhaps broken up, you know, crumbled on top of a salad, like in place of croutons, you could have like these crunchy kimchi bits. Let's try kimchi in the rehydrated version to see what that's all about. The water I added was cool, and this has been in this ramekin for about 15 or so minutes. Not too long. Looks like a nice piece. Let's eat it. Here we go. Our rehydrated kimchi. Looks beautiful. And I'm loving the way it rehydrated. It actually got a little bit of juice in there. That chili juice and carrot. We'll taste that here in a minute. All right, going down. That's awesome. Flavor-wise, this is definitely on point. Between this version and the fresh version, hard to tell the difference. Texture-wise, on the other hand, the fresh version I do believe is a little bit crispier, whereas this one has suffered just a slight bit of a texture loss. Let me eat a carrot and see what that's about. It's not bad. It's still crispy, but it's not like the fresh version. And for the purpose that it serves, you know, long-term food storage, you can have your probiotics, put them away 25 years in a Mylar bag with an O2 absorber. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Let me just go in for one more bite here. The daikon radish actually holds up a little bit better than the carrot. That's got a nice crispy bite to it. But it's great. Even the slight texture difference between the cabbage on the fresh versus the freeze-dried version, not enough for me to say, you know what, not worth freeze-drying again. This is absolutely delicious and definitely something that would be, in my opinion, incredibly valuable as part of a long-term food storage option. Matter of fact, I just had an idea. Let's try kimchi a third way. All right, let's move this out of the way and get the blender because we are going to make a kimchi seasoning and see how that works out. The freeze-dried version of this kimchi was very reminiscent of the Mexican spice tajin. Obviously tasted a little differently, but it was tangy and spicy and had these really interesting flavors. And so that's what we're going to be going for here. I'm looking at this right now. It smells really great. Did grind it up maybe a little finer than I wanted, but that's going to be all right. And I think to test this out, we're going to bring out some gala apple. So I think, you know, sweet apple for this, give us a nice contrasting flavor. and just do a little dusting on the top and see what happens, you know? I know some of you are out there thinking how you could use a kimchi seasoning. Let me know in the comment section below, what ideas do you have for a powder like this? Let's give it a go. All right, guys, we've got our kimchi seasoned apple. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about this? Thinking it might be good on popcorn, maybe a salad. Redefine what Korean barbecue is all about. Create like a really cool rub with it. I mean, it's kimchi, right? What did you expect? Okay, here we go. I love it. Wow, that's weird and delicious. It brings a little bit of saltiness, a little spiciness, definitely that kimchi element, but it's not overwhelming because the good majority of it is still that sweet apple. So you have this salty, sweet pairing that's got this very light kimchi flavor. It is absolutely delicious. This is crazy. Okay, we definitely need to take this, put it in a shaker, because I am not done experimenting with this kimchi seasoning. Absolutely delicious. I'm loving the freeze-dried version of it. Crunchy snack, kimchi seasoning. You can throw it in your, freeze-dried ramen, long-term storage. You get those probiotics, you get that flavor. It's incredible. Speaking of storage, this is a great way to store it if you're not making a lot. Mason jar, vacuum sealed. You might want to throw like a desiccant pack in there. You can also put it in a Mylar bag if you want to have really long-term storage. I have a pretty good feeling that we're going to be going through this pretty quick, and then I'm going to have to freeze dry a whole lot more because this is absolutely ridiculous. Thanks a lot for watching, folks. If you have any questions about this freeze-dried kimchi or the recipe, leave them in the comment section below. If you'd like more information on the freeze dryer that we used in today's video, I'll put a link to their business in the description box below, as well as a discount code to save you a couple bucks off your purchase. If you're new here and you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell and throw this video a thumbs up. We've got a lot more freeze-dried projects on the horizon. I don't want you to miss a single one. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. This is seriously, seriously good. Wow, I can't believe I haven't done this sooner.